Hello everyone, Assistant Narrator Richardson signing in. And first I'm going to go over what a rat king is. A rat king is a collection of rats whose tails are intertwined and bound together by one of several possible mechanisms, such as entangling material like hair or sticky substances like sap or gum, or getting tied together. And that's what a rat king is. I thought I'd just let people know, because I'm sure there's a few people around the offices and labs who don't know what rat kings are. Anyway, let's get started. Item number SCP-6062. Restriction level, level 2 restricted. Containment class, safe. Disruption class, Ecchi. Risk class, danger. Assigned site, area 179. Site director, Director Joseph Barrow. Researcher, Angela Stas. Assigned task force, not applicable. Special containment procedures. SCP-6062 is to be kept in a modified containment cell located in Secure Facility Area 179. A plexiglass divider and intercom system have been installed for communication. SCP-6062's containment chamber is to be cleaned once a week, and all waste is to be transported to Area 179's Biology Department, where it is to be either incinerated or distributed to other Foundation research institutions for study purposes at the discretion of the department head. All personnel making physical contact with SCP-6062, including weekly cleaning, are to wear Foundation-issued hazmat suits. Description: SCP-6062 is an entity composed of a collection of 13 intertwined Rattus norvegicus, brown rat, specimens, bound together at the tail by an unidentified adhesive substance. Colloquially, the non-anomalous phenomenon of rats becoming intertwined at the tail is known as a rat king. While most specimens making up SCP-6062 are, bar anomalous effects, indistinct from their ordinary counterparts, several rats are afflicted with injuries or ailments, broken bones, heavily mutilated facial features, and missing limbs have been observed. Though these conditions do not impair functionality of the entity, it is hypothesized that these specimens share a collective consciousness that aids in mobility, sustainability, and cognitive capabilities. SCP-6062's movement is composed of each specimen acting in tandem to move in a certain direction. On occasion, mobility can become unrefined, as if each specimen is pulling the entity in separate directions. SCP-6062 is capable of speech, despite possessing none of the organs required, and demonstrates an understanding of the English language. When SCP-6062 speaks, it uses the mouth of each specimen making up its whole to do so, allowing for amplification. Its voice has been described as shrill and high-pitched, while its personality is delusional, contemptuous, and vulgar. SCP-6062 self-identifies as King Ratthew, Splondis, the 18th. SCP-6062 has been found to harbour, at the time of writing, 82 different infectious diseases, 70% of which have not been observed in animal vectors prior to SCP-6062, and is capable of acting as a vector for zoonotic, a disease transferring from an animal to a human, transmission of infectious pathogens. While SCP-6062 may demonstrate mild signs and symptoms of the diseases it carries, the entity is immune to any lethal effects. SCP-6062 has been observed to harbour malaria, Lyme's disease, West Nile, several manifestations of plague, salmonella, smallpox, and over 30 unidentified viral pathogens estimated to be prehistoric in age. While pathogens carried by SCP-6062 are conventional in nature, they are considerably more potent than would be expected, resulting in a higher chance of transmission. Pathogens within SCP-6062 continue to be discovered at an irregular rate. Addendum 6062.1 Discovery. SCP-6062 was discovered on the 17th of the 4th, 2018, in Brandy, Pennsylvania, a small suburban development, after the town had contracted an outbreak of leprosy. The Foundation was notified of this incident and promptly dispatched an assessment detail. A vaccination sourced from SCP Classified was utilised to cure affected residents. The following is an audio-visual transcript of a recording taken by Dr. Amy Weber and researcher Angela Stas during the Brandy containment effort. The pair were searching a storm drain for irregularities as part of the routine search of the area. Begin log. Dr. Weber and researcher Stas, dressed in protective hazmat suits, navigate the narrow subterranean area on their hands and feet. They crawl single file, unable to fit otherwise. Weber leads with a flashlight attached to her head to offer faint illumination. Beneath them is a small stream of clouded brown water.
Stinks down here.
It's a sewer, Amy.
Would it kill them to put an air freshener out? Maybe light a few candles?
You should pitch it to the water company. A sponge-like brown cluster is seen growing on the lower right corner of the pipe.
The hell? Looks like a tumour. Let me grab a sample and...
Halt!
Hello? We're with the CDC. We're taking samples. SCP-6062 scurries into view, moving in an uncontrolled, indecisive manner, darting from one side to the next.
A rat king?
That certainly is odd. I'll send a message to Command quick. Let them know we have an entity.
Bite your tongue, peasant, for I am the Rat King, and you have entered my domain.
SCP-6062 walks into a wall before reorienting itself.
Stas, you're the PR girl. You want to take this one?
Weber positions herself to the side of the pipe, allowing Stas to lean forward and offer SCP-6062 a better view of her. Weber devotes her attention to observing the brown growth, preparing for collection.
Of course. How do you prefer us address you?
Let me see. Your Honesty, Your Highness, Your Sexcellency, and Milord works as honorifics in day-to-day conversation. For formal titles, I usually go by Bearer of Bad Fluss, the Scourge of Society, Ratman, the Eradicator of Wellness, String Cheese, and Clint Rat Eastwood. Yes, those are my favourite titles. And what shall I call such finely crafted examples of your crude species?
Okay, my name's Angela, and this is Amy. We're here with...
Oh, such foul, exotic names. As to be expected from your kind, yes. I do not remember inviting lesser vermin concubines to my chambers, but if you insist on copulating with me, you may undress now. Your suits of armor may be strong, but nothing is impenetrable, miladies.
Dr. Weber turns away.
Excuse me?
I believe you're mistaken, Your Majesty. You didn't send for... A SCP-6062 specimen begins coughing and after a prolonged effort, regurgitates a webbed green piece of phlegm.
Apologies,
A second SCP-6062 specimen coughs, wheezing and gasping for air. It regurgitates a stream of blood.
Continue.
Better collect that too.
No worries. We're here collecting samples for scientific research. Is this your home?
Why, my domain is wherever my large ironclad boots tread. This is my kingdom, and also over there, and over here as well. I have assimilated many lands into my empire, but I am a fair monarch. I shall allow you, lesser vermin, passage into my realm, under the pretense that you agree to dedicate the rest of your years in servitude to me as rats.
I'm afraid we can't do that, Your Highness. You see...
Then there will be no such pleasantries, ape.
SCP-6062 lunges forward and attempts to bite Stas's facial area, but is hindered by the hazmat suit's helmet. The entity scurries, squealing, and clawing at the pair as they attempt to reposition themselves to move out of the tunnel. The two begin crawling in the opposite direction they came, but SCP-6062 continues its assault, attempting to chew through the right leg of Weber's suit to little effect. Weber voice activates her Bluetooth earpiece communicator and connects to topside command.
Dr. Weber, you are now connected to SCP. Yo, can you get a containment specialist over here when we get up in a few minutes? Maybe a cage or something? There's a weird fucking mouse and it's trying to either kill us or fuck us. We have suits, so it's not a... Hey!
SCP-6062 crawls up Weber's back and onto her face covering. 4 specimens defecate onto Weber, while 2 others simultaneously regurgitate an unknown black pus.
I am a rat! A rat!
Little bastard.
Weber grabs SCP-6062 and swats it away, causing it to scurry ahead to Stas. SCP-6062 latches onto her left thigh and begins coughing.
Yeah. Sure, we'll have someone there.
End log. Following containment at Area 179, Dr. Weber and researcher Stas were examined. Despite wearing protective covering, they had both contracted a strain of rubella. Both had been vaccinated against the disease as children. Using the medicine distributed during the Brandy effort, they were quickly cured. Shortly after, an interview with SCP-6062 was conducted. Researcher Stas was chosen due to her specialization in psychology and past record of successful communication with anomalous entities. Researcher Stas enters the containment chamber. Reinforced plexiglass outfitted with an intercom system separates SCP-6062's cell from the interrogation room, which has been decorated with shavings, tubes, and platforms. Inside, SCP-6062 is attempting to jump onto a platform. Though it keeps faltering backwards and ramming a portion of its heads into a wall. Phlegm and unidentified viscous substances coat the walls and surfaces.
Your Highness?
Stas curtsies before sitting at the intercom table. SCP-6062 scurries to the microphone connected to its cell.
Release me at once. I do enjoy the amenities, but not when I'm being courted by odorous, incestuous apes. Confound these platforms. Why do they compel me to climb?
You are entertained, Lo. Oh, can you state your name for the record? It's just a thing I have to do.
My name? You wouldn't ask Jesus Rat Christ that, would you?
It's for...
King Ratthew Splondis the 18th, ruler of all rats and bringer of death.
An SCP-6062 specimen with a mutilated face makes a distressed vocalization and regurgitates a small unidentified insect covered in blue phlegm. After a period of time, the insect reanimates itself and walks away.
Upon further investigation, the insect could not be found. Thanks. Now, I've been meaning to ask, and there's going to be no punishment for being honest, so please be truthful with me. What were you doing in Brandy? In those sewers where we found you?
Worry not. A king is always honest. I was there to conquer, of course, to bring war upon the lesser vermin, as I have so many times prior. So many plagues, so many pandemics, all orchestrated by me and carried out by my underlings. I believe this instance was a bout of leopard seed, wasn't it? All according to my plan.
Leprosy. But yes, are you aware what leprosy does?
Of course, leprosy does very bad things that are not good, so it can hurt the ape men by making them die until they are killed. I think it's splendid.
Okay. And what about the part where they turn into sheep?
That's why I adore it. That's my favourite part. I sit back and I watch them become as white and hairy as a snow creature. They crawl on the ground, writhing in pain, going, "Bah!" A jolly good show indeed.
Leprosy doesn't turn people into sheep, Your Excellency. I made that up to see if you knew what you were talking about.
Then I shall toss you in the moat to let the mud monster nip at your toes for centuries on end. Wait.
A large red boil appears on a specimen of SCP-6062. It swells in size before reaching a third of SCP-6062's mass. The boil pops, spraying the containment chamber in an off-white hardening pus.
That was good.
Okay, so you know you can cause disease, correct?
Many of them.
But you don't know what they do? We've discovered a lot of strange things in your genetic makeup. Can you explain?
I am the king of rats.
Sounds alright. Why do you dislike humans?
It was a human who disfigured me so. When me was just we, he tied me up and made lay into I. Do not be aghast, as it was this turn of events that inspired me to seek revenge on the lesser vermin of the surface world. Yes, it was a good thing that this happened. A rat may slay another rat in combat. But will it rat challenge a rat who is many rats? Now you see how my power came to be.
That sounds horrible, sir. Do you know who made you like this?
An Italian. Out of all varieties of lesser vermin, I despise that flavour the most. That's all I recall. You all surface skimmers look so similar. Many names on my mind, but only ones worth remembering.
That's okay. Thanks for sharing that with me. You mentioned having underlings. Are there more of you?
Many more, harlot. Many more. My legion of followers numbers in the illions. There are more of us than you, and inside me is a connection to every rat on this ape-infested planet. I've already sent word. They will bring pestilence. They will bring this ease and that ease. All of the eases. They will rescue me from a grisly fate at the hands of your magic men. And then I will rule. The year of the rat will come, and swiftly so. Do you stand in a position to be devoured by the sickness? Or will you take my claw in marriage? I would not offer such a divine kindness to most of your kind.
Oh, I'm already married. Apologies. Are you okay with just remaining friends, Your Highness?
All specimens of SCP-6062 begin secreting a yellow fluid from their eyes. The entity makes a sound equivalent to human sobbing. This continues for 2 minutes, escalating in volume and intensity as time goes on. Eventually, SCP-6062 begins coughing up large globules of phlegm.
Yes.
I really am sorry. I'm just here to do my job. Would you like me to get you something? Do you like cheese?
Oh, because I'm a rat? I like cheese, huh?
No, that's not at all what I was insinuating. The cafeteria was serving one of those big cheese plates today. It has absolutely nothing to do with you being...
A cheese plate? Splendid. Bring me the entire dish. I do love a good cheese.
I'll check with my supervisor, okay?
You either retrieve the cheese now, or I will consume nothing but my own waste until you do, topsider.
End log. Upon directional review, SCP-6062 was granted access to a balanced diet of natural foods, safe for consumption. Since containment, a number of undocumented behaviours have been observed in SCP-6062 and have been listed below. SCP-6062 frequently consumes its own waste and excess. When asked about this, it claims it's keeping the royal bloodline pure. SCP-6062 takes pleasure in the Foundation's collection of its excess, to be used for testing and research purposes. It has stated that it enjoys the idea of being exposed to its greatness and wishes they contract the diseases carried by the material. SCP-6062 will sleep for extended periods of time.
Presently, the longest recorded session has been 67 hours.
But will deny doing so. SCP-6062 claims it has no need for rest, and that it is contacting the rodent brethren through meditation. During these periods, SCP-6062 has shown an affinity for researcher Stas, and will frequently discuss her with other personnel. The entity has shown interest in Stas's husband, and will often ask about the status of her marriage. Researcher Stas has been ineffective in diverting the conversation to a new subject when it arises. Stas has declined reassignment to a different anomaly. SCP-6062 will chase after itself, spinning in a circle for recreational purposes. When asked about this action, SCP-6062 claimed it is practicing for a dance for a royal rat ball. SCP-6062 is sensitive to music and becomes noticeably lethargic and susceptible to suggestion while it is playing, as the entity has shown distress following the playing of music. Doing so in the presence of SCP-6062 has been prohibited. In order to test the veracity of SCP-6062's claims in regards to communication with other members of its species, an experiment was held. SCP-6062 is placed in an empty containment chamber with one Rattus norvegicus, brown rat.
Quite brave of you to place me so near to a member of my court.
The rat moves around the chamber idly. It does not seem to notice SCP-6062. The entity moves closer to the rat.
Yes, I need you to send a message. Oh, your name is Maurice. How charming. Maurice, my good sir, tell my generals to focus all war efforts onto Italy and Italians throughout the land. Why, yes, I do believe General Rat Patton is the best man to carry out such a pogrom.
The rat moves away from SCP-6062, walking to the other side of the chamber. It is suddenly distracted by its own tail, which it begins to observe.
Maurice, come back here. There are things to be discussed. Very important things. I bestow you upon my blessing. Go forth and complete your quest in the name of your glorious king. Say it with me. Maurice, all hail King Ratthew Splondis the 18th. May his many-headed body stay seated on the throne of Milady forever. Death to all lesser vermin. I can't hear you say it, Maurice.
The rat playfully claws at the chamber walls, attempting to climb by placing its claws between the interstices of the tiles.
Researchers note, SCP-6062 has proven useful in the collection of bacterial samples to study and sell. I don't believe we have anything to worry about in regards to its supposed telepathic abilities. Researcher Stas.
Ooh, and that's the end of the document. Such a talkative rat, or should I say rats. Ugh, but quite funny at the same time. Anyway, that's it for this one. Goodbye. Hello everyone, Creepy Otter here, and I just want to say a huge thank you to J Dune for writing this SCP. I really liked it. It was fun to read. So yeah, go check their stuff out in the description. If you want to support me financially, then go to my Ko-fi. The link is in the description below. And if you donate, you can get your name read out in future videos. Also, you will get your donation read out on a weekly live stream that I'm going to do. So yeah, also my Twitter is in the description if you want to see updates and stuff like that. So talking about my Ko-fi, we have our first donator, so thank you to Sab9-3 for your support. See you in the next video. Goodbye.